Hello everyone. We are going to talk about new curriculum. Communicative language teaching (CLT). Communicative language teaching, also known as communicative approach, it arose for a great change regarding English and its teaching. Principle: the student must learn English to communicate with more people, not just grammar for an exam. Communication is very important. Thus, in the classroom, a student must do activities that apply to reality in order to function better. Teacher must apply this communicative function to be able to interpret individual or separate message and relating to everything is called discursive competence. Strategic competence, which is related to the marine starting, maintaining and aiding conversation or communication.
It was using after Cradle because they wanted that students had B1 level. So it was invent communicative language teaching to the students could communicate each other. In 2012, this method to teach English as a foreign language was put to the test. The CLT had an alignment with the Common European Framework when determining what profile each student would come out with, expecting secondary education students to have an A1 level, in high school an A2 level, and upon graduating level B1 too.
Requirements. According to the National Curriculum Guidelines, freshmen with label A1 should use necessary everyday expressions and understand English easily. Be able to introduce yourself and introduce yourself to others. Be able to defend yourself by answering and asking personal questions. Interact normally with someone of that language, had a basic conversation. Be able to understand and give simple information such as basic data. Be aware of the culture and society involved.
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about the specific communicative competence objective per school year from 8th grade and 9th grade of Educación General Básica, AJB. Well, the first point. At the end of the 8th year, AJB, students will be able to, first, linguistic components, to have a basic knowledge of words, phrases, and a limited control on the simple grammatical structure that are related to their personal and educational training. Second, sociolinguistic component. Use expression to collect important information and be able to socialize. And finally, pragmatic component. Use words to link with basic linear connectors. And finally, the second point. After what they have learned in 8th grade AGB, at the end of the 9th grade AGB, students will be able to exactly a linguistic component, have a storage of basic words, phrases, and limited control of grammatical structure that have to do with their origin social.
Specific community competitive object per school year, then year HGP, and first year bachelorate. At the end of the 10-year HGP, students will be 8%. Listening competitive, limited to knowledge of memory short phrases that can help survey on the personal and education level and to make good expression. Socially competitive, todo and responsible to simple language function. Pragmatic, compete to adapt the default simple sentences to a limited lexical situation. After what the learning of the tenure of HB and at the end of the first year of the high school students will a table. Mm, linguistic competence to have a basic knowledge of words, paraphrase, and limited control of the simple grammar that they relate to their person and education environment.
Specific communicative competence objectives for school year, segundo y tercero de bachillerato. B1.1. At the end of second year of high school, students will be able to use the linguistic competence to have an extensive language, to defend themselves with many expressions, with lexical limitations that cause repetition, and to communicate in a responsible way. Social linguistic component, to be aware of the important conventions of the foreign language. In the pragmatic component, to adapt and carry out simple memorized phrases of particular cases. B1.2. In addition to what they learn in second year of high school, in third year of high school, students will be able to, in linguistic component, to give explanations of main points of an idea or problem with reasonable precision that describe the different cultural themes of the language. In the social linguistic component, to socialize in basic and very effective terms that express opinions in a simple way. And in the pragmatic component, to perform and respond to a large range of language functions. So now, we have seen communicative language teaching, and now we are going to do some conclusions. Well, I think that this topic is interesting and at the same time important. But on the other hand, I think that students and teachers don't apply this because in our reality, students which end high school, they don't have the B2 level or B1.2 level. They are like kids, so they maybe don't know basic words. And I think that this is because since they are in school, since they are kids, teachers don't teach English them in a good way. And so I think that they could improve their teaching manners or maybe I don't know, making some surveys to see what's the problem and how we can solve that, because I see that till nowadays students don't know how to speak English, and I think that it's a problem because English is a really good language and also it is important international language, and I think that we have to promote this communication language teaching. And let's see what my my classmates think about that.
In conclusion, about the new curriculum, at each level, the level of complexity and equality accumulate, but the student will be able to live with an extensive learning where they can communicate in a simple way and be able to exchange important information with others and describe all simple terms. At level B1, a student must understand main points of clear Jesus, produce simple text, be able to describe experience and events in their daily life with great ease, since the communicative competence or the last level B1 must be reached. Thank you.
We can come to the conclusion that learning English is something very important, and that is why more and more modes of teaching are applied. DLT wants to get the best out of its students, and hopefully, English will gain the importance it deserves to the country.
Well, I'm going to tell you a conclusion. And in a nutshell, CLT, which means communicative language or the communicative approach, is an approach to language teaching that emphasizes the interaction as both the means and the ultimate goals of study. According to CLT, the goals of language education is the ability to communicate in the target language. This is in contrast to previous views in which grammatical competence was commonly given top priority. CLT also focused on the teacher being a facilitator rather than an instructor.
That is to say that at the end of HB, the student must have a basic level, has minimum to make sentences and to answer them, and it's super important that the student know to take advantage of the learning to the minimum because if they want to continue studying and English is essential to learning it. Thank you.